Recording of the new album began in April 2016. According to Mr. Lordi, the album will be a split album, with the first 6 songs featuring a more traditional Lordi sound, and the final 6 songs featuring more progressive and conceptual elements. A promotional tour of the album was launched in October 2016, with the title being European Monster 2016. The album was preceded by the release of the single Hug You Hardcore in August 2016, which was accompanied by the release of a music video. On the 13th of July, Lordi revealed the name of the 8th studio album titled Monstereophonic, Theater vs. Demonarchy, and it was released on September 16th. The band then announced that they'd be playing their first tour of North America and Canada in 2017, starting on February 2nd and ending on March 4th.
So in the last one, I said that I hope that they keep the trend up, and they did. The next album we have in I believe this is 2016, we have Lordi Monstereophonic versus Theater. Theater versus Demonarchy. I still cannot pronounce the title of this album, but this album is also freaking fantastic. The great thing about this one is the concept behind it. This is when Lordi started to get a little experimental with the albums. He wanted to have a theme for every album. Now, the other albums technically had themes, but this is when he started to really have them like be pronounced in terms of like literally you can see what the theme is. And the awesome thing with this was it's a half normal album, half concept album. And that's what made this really cool. So they reflect it even in the costumes, and I want to see if I can show you guys a better picture of them. But you can sort of see the band have this split design with their costumes, where one half of their costume is something and the other half is the other, and that represents the split concept album. This was fantastic, and this was the first time we got to hear the band do a lot of like modern style heavy metal sounding material, and it was awesome. The concept side of this, the Demonarchy tracks, are some of the longest Lordi songs. Like the last one, the night the monsters died, clocks in at 7 minutes and 14 seconds. That's a long ass song. But the theater part of the album is just classic Lordi. To me, this part of the album is amazing. Now, I want to talk about the music video and the single for this album. Actually, you know what? Before I get to that, let's do another happy thing. With this album cycle is when I got to see Lordi for the second time in 2017, and guys, it was one of the best concerts of my life. I loved it. I was so happy to see them again after so many years, and I really hope they come back, but that was a really fun time seeing them again. It was sad because I couldn't see Kita, but of course, this was still great. And of course, we still kept the same lineup. And again, Hella just keeps on getting better, and I start to appreciate more of Mana at this point, but I'm still not really behind his character. Okay, so now let me talk about the controversial part with this album. The single, Hug You Hardcore. So in the past videos you've seen actually on the screen here when I've been showing some of the music videos that there was one track in particular that came up that was very, very sexualized and had to be censored. It was one of the first Lordi music videos to be censored due to the fact that the song, because it's called Hug You Hardcore, involves I might even censor that, but it involves and here's the weird thing. The song itself is catchy, but it also is probably one of the worst sounding Lordi songs out there. It has a very different tone to it than the others. And also the theme of just what it is about and the visuals that go along with it. Let's just say it's one of probably my least favorite Lordi music video of all time. It is a horrible music video. It looks cheap, it looks tacky, it's bad, it's not a good thing. And it was the first time I actually said something about Lordi that was bad when it first came out, and I still think it is to this day. I think the music video for Hug Me Hardcore, or Hug You Hardcore, whatever the song is, was just bad. It's not good. And I think Lordi even knows that himself, because even nowadays in interviews, he does say that he's happy that he's back in the director's seat when he does the music videos. I'm assuming when he did this, he was not the director and not behind the vision of what that music video should have been. But besides that though, this is still a really great album. And actually the first track on it, Let's Go Slaughter He-Man, is like such an amazing song. I love it. So yeah, great album. Highly recommend listening to it. Except for Hug You Hardcore. Stay away from that one.